Welcome to the Tech Sales Funnels podcast, where we dive deep and answer the ultimate question: how did you hack into tech sales? Each week, we bring you inspiring stories, proven strategies, and insider tips from top performers who've cracked the code to break into tech sales and thrive. Whether you're just starting out, making a career pivot, or ready to level up, this is your go-to space for actionable advice and real-world success stories. Let's crack the code together, because hacking into tech sales isn't just a dream, it's your next move. Now with your host, the founder of Tech Sales Funnels and the tech sales hacker himself, Dayvisson DaSilva.
Welcome everyone to the Tech Sales Funnels podcast. This is Dayvisson DaSilva, the tech sales hacker. And today I'm super excited to have a guest here for the first time, actually. She's a recruiter. So, all the audience here listening to this is always looking for tips and tricks and strategies and how to get a better job, how to bounce back from layoffs, how to network, whatever. Like, she's the real deal. Alexis, she's from Gartner. I've seen Alexis super active on LinkedIn, and the other day she posted while she was giving an offer to a candidate. I was like, I love her energy. I need to bring her to this podcast. And here she is today. Thanks so much for joining. Alex, can you introduce yourself at a high level and tell us a little bit of who you are?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here and pull back the curtain on all things getting into sales. I'm your girl. I've got all the tips and tricks. So, a little bit about me: I'm actually originally from Kansas, born and raised in a really small town, moved to Dallas, Texas for more career opportunity and growth opportunities. I took a bet on myself, had no plan coming out over to Dallas. All I knew is I had grit and determination, and someone was going to hire me. I didn't know who, but someone was going to hire me. And I got into recruiting because I thought it would be a really good career path for myself. I love working with people. I myself come from a non traditional background. I don't have a college degree. I don't have a large family or a support system that could give me
Mm,
resources or help me get into the career path I wanted to get into. I stumbled across a couple of TikToks, I believe,
mm,
that inspired me to break into recruiting. And ever
really?
since then, I had to get my foot in the door somehow. I ended up recruiting for a really large staffing agency supporting hiring for Google. Loved that role. You could not pay me more to leave it. So I hired sales talent directly for Google all across the globe. And then I wanted to essentially to continue growing my career. So I was with my agency hiring for Google for about 3 years, was ready to grow more. And I ended up applying for a role at Gartner,
Mm,
and here I am. So that's what
yes.
led me to this fabulous podcast. And one of my passions is helping non traditional candidates and candidates that are looking for a beacon of hope, and providing them tips and advice on how they can make that next step, that career pivot for themselves, because I came from that background myself. So that's why
Mm,
we're here today.
I love it. Do you know why I call myself a tech sales hacker, Alex? I don't know if you know, but
Fill me in.
I broke into tech sales. I had no tech background. And the reason why I started this whole thing is to do exactly what you just said, to keep people's hope, to show them, hey, if Davidson can do it, other people can do it. And like about a year ago, I started just posting tips and tricks and strategies, and everybody started liking it on LinkedIn. And I'm like, hey, I'm just going to do a podcast. I might as well. And here we are, like the tech sales hacker and
That's
Alexis,
awesome.
the recruiter. I love it.
Great.
I love it. Love it. So let's start with the. This is really cool. I am super excited. So we're going to be talking a lot about, especially for the people who are actually trying to hack into tech sales, how to break into tech sales. Let's start with the biggest question a lot of people ask me, like um, transferable skills. Like, Davison, like I'm a teacher. Davison, I'm coming from the insurance industry, or like I don't know if I can do tech sales or not. What kind of transferable skills you see out there that people should not be questioning themselves? Like, hey, if you have those things, give it a try. Just do it.
Yeah. I love this question. And to your point, it is so important to be confident and convicted about your transferable skills and to understand that what you possess in any of your roles is transferable, and it's up to you to paint that vision for the hiring team on your skills and connect the dots for them, right? No one, it's no, I'm a tough love kind of gal. It's no one's responsibility to paint vision about your background but yourself as a
Mm,
candidate. And so, transferable skills, there are so many. And a couple of things that come to mind: communication skills, number one,
mm,
clear, persuasive, being confident. Those are things that are just truly invaluable. If you don't have great communication skills, both verbally and written, there's going to be other candidates that do have those
mm,
skills, and those are the ones that are able to break in, and coming from non-traditional backgrounds, they're able to make those pivots because that skill is so important.
mm,
Another thing that's really important, that you can gain from any experience: business acumen. Understanding how organizations make decisions can truly elevate the way you come across to a hiring team and the way you're articulating your experience. Having business acumen, that's not something you have to actually gain from getting experience. You can take courses on it.
mm,
There's free content on business acumen. There are so many free resources at your fingertips to upskill on communication, on business acumen. Free. I think that's really important to know, is that in a world of technology where we can type in and research something or use AI to learn something, use your resources. There are so many free resources to help you gain those two skills.
I love it. Um, Perfect. So, got a lot of people that hesitate, right? But there's opportunities for everywhere, for everyone. The AI high level field. I'm mixing up all the words today. The plane, the field is playing right now, right? Everyone has access to the same knowledge, so they just have to go and go after it. And communication skills. We talk about communication, verbal, nonverbal, everything counts. In sometimes it's not only the things you say, is how you say, right? It's just how your
Yep.
passion, everything, just how you come across. I love that. What do you think is one of the biggest, as a recruiter, that you see, um, that is a challenge on the flip side, right? You talk about the good things you should have, transferable skills. How about, is there anything out there that if someone does not have it, like, then they should not be giving a try for tech sales? Or is that any, like, a red flag for people?
Hmm.
Can you think about
So
it?
a couple of things come to mind for me. I think it's all about understanding, you know, if you are a non-traditional candidate or you're trying to break into tech sales, really knowing what roles you're applying for and making sure that the roles you're applying for, that you're qualified for, and that the hiring teams or the role, they're accepting of candidates that don't have the experience, right? Otherwise, you're kind of setting yourself up for disappointment applying for
Mm,
roles that they're not going to they're not going to give you a chance, right? So I think it's really important to understand your background and know, okay, what are the companies that um, hire candidates from non-traditional backgrounds and train on, skills. Uh, Shameless plug, Gartner is one of them. We look
mm,
for standout candidates at Gartner from non-traditional backgrounds. And, with that said, it's all about possessing great communication skills, having good executive presence, being incredibly driven. Those are things you can gain from life experiences. You don't have to have a certain degree or have a certain kind of experience. So just understanding what companies, like how they hire, will help you get a little bit closer to what companies you should be targeting if you do come from a
mm.
non-traditional background.
Perfect, perfect. Now, I am pro recruiters all day, every day. I tell my, people that I'm coaching, like, hey, they have to be your best friends. Get close to the recruiter, treat them well. Sometimes people get, frustrated with recruiters, right? You know that. Um,
Understandably.
they're ghosting me and all that kind of stuff. But it's a busy life. It's a crazy life on the other side. Can you tell a little bit about the recruiting side, like the day of the life of the recruiter? So people
Oh,
feel a little
yeah.
bit more empathy of of your role and the things you do.
Absolutely. It reminds me, the SpongeBob meme where SpongeBob has like 10 hands and holding different things.
Yeah.
That is what it feels like to be a recruiter. And especially in today's market where teams are operating extremely lean, we don't
Mm,
have all of the resources at our fingertips. Well, we do in terms of we've got lots of resources, right? But we can't, our bandwidth, the amount of time that we have to spend is very slim. Teams are expected to operate in a capacity that's a lot smaller now and produce 2 times more,
mm.
right?
Yep.
So that's not even just in recruiting, but in the market in general. That's just what it's looking like for people. So when you think about recruiters and the bandwidth we have to spend, if it's not helping me fill the role that I'm currently working on, it's a waste of my time.
Mm,
I truly believe that, everyone's time is valuable. And when candidates reach out to recruiters blindly, which is great, I don't want to discourage any candidates from doing so. It's important to also know the flip side of who's receiving the message, right? The
mm,
recruiter receiving the message, are they working on the role that you're reaching out to about? If
mm.
not, your message it's not going to help them, fill their
Yeah.
role responsibilities, right? So understanding that helps you understand, okay, they didn't respond to me probably because like they have other priorities they have to balance,
Mm,
right? It's never personal.
exactly.
So keeping that in mind is incredibly important. And one thing to help candidates overcome that, if you're someone where you want to message recruiters, which I highly recommend to, I've hired several candidates that have messaged me for the roles I'm working on.
Yeah.
Ask them what roles they're working on,
Mm,
and that's a good way to kind of, before you pitch, hey, I'm looking for a business analyst role. Well, I don't work on business analyst roles, I'm a sales recruiter. So you found the wrong point of contact. Instead, go to LinkedIn, search Gartner business analyst recruiter or whatever company recruiter, try to find someone who's a better point of contact. They're going
mm,
to help you better. So
yeah.
help us help you is my philosophy.
Yes, I love it.
It's
I
like
love it.
teamwork. We gotta like help each other out here.
Exactly, exactly. Like it's not like you're just sitting there waiting for their message. It's like
You should see
sometimes
my
they're like,
LinkedIn. Floods, floods.
yeah. So like now, like I can't imagine how challenging with this whole AI. The side of the recruit. It's probably even more challenging. Now let's talk about AI. That's we love talk about AI. So behind the scenes, what's the biggest challenges that AI has brought to you as a recruiter, and the biggest benefits, like
Ooh, I
pros and
love this
cons of
question.
AI?
I'm a very tech savvy girl. I am pro AI. I love to use it to make me faster.
Hmm.
It's not about replacing us or anyone, it's about using it to our advantage. And if you can use it to your advantage, it helps you be more agile. It helps you free up time to focus on the things that matter. So, as a recruiter, I like to use AI on what I call grunt work, that is low value work, that is not strategic, and essentially work that, yeah, safely put, grunt work, things
Mm-hmm.
that aren't really enjoyable to do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I use it. And in terms of how it's benefited me as a recruiter, it's just simply helped me become faster and more productive. And I think people can really, in any work outside of recruiting, AI can be an incredibly valuable tool if you use it correctly and if you use it on the things that matter. But also, don't forget to use your brain. Don't rely on AI for everything, right? It's all about making sure that you are, as an employee, having that sweet spot, that balance between utilizing your tools to your advantage, but also um, not being someone that allows AI to replace you. My insights to the company I work for, I think are incredibly valuable. AI can't replace me. You know what I mean? So knowing your
Mm,
value and being able to be someone that you're strategic, you bring up strategic initiatives and you've got ideas you bring to the table that AI can't bring those ideas. So I think
100%.
that's what can be challenging is the scarcity mindset around AI and people being scared that AI is going to take their job. Be someone that's so valuable in terms of what you provide that, simply put, I refuse to let AI take my job. I'm gonna live in delusion with this.
I love it. I'm a big advocate of that too. That we are all unique. Like we all have our own story. There's no way the AI can replicate me. Like there's no way.
Right,
It's
it's
just like
true. And
embrace it.
having confidence in that. And if so, if they do, so what? Like I'm going to bring value to this world in one way or another, and whatever company it's for, whatever I'm doing, right?
I think AI is actually challenging people to just be more to the core who they are. Like you have to come out if you're hiding, or you have to be your personal brand, or whatever people
Authenticity.
authenticity. Exactly. I love that word. And I like to call the human intelligence, right? Like you talk about artificial intelligence, you gotta bring your human intelligence to the plate and see how you can differentiate yourself from other people. Like I have this accent, you see, like I'm Brazilian, like I'm not perfect. English is not my first language, so I speak 3 4 languages. So what? I'm Dayvisson DaSilva, right? That's what makes me unique, different. Um,
Love it.
and what makes you different, Alex, from all the other recruiters from Gardner, or like what makes Alexis? And
Hmm.
yeah, tell me a little bit more about your strengths and how do you work with like high potential clients? Like, do you coach them sometimes? Do you help them? How do you go the extra mile to help the people that you see that have high potential to get hired?
Oh, I love this question. I am very much, if I see potential in someone, I want to bring it out of them because there was someone who once took a chance on me, and I will never
Mm,
stray away from where I came from.
mm,
I had to open doors, push open doors myself. I scraped tooth and nail to get someone to take a chance on me,
mm.
and it was so worth it. So candidates that have such high potential, I almost see myself in them and I want it for them just as bad as they do. So
Nice.
I'm very much a recruiter where if you've got high potential and you're qualified for the role, I will provide feedback, I'll provide coaching. I want it for them just as much as they want it for them. Um, because again, it goes back to someone else once did that for me and I'll never ever forget it. Completely
Mm,
invaluable. Um, Helping someone achieve their dreams and their career goals. That's why I do what I do. I'm not a recruiter because it's fun. It is fun, but I love coaching people and seeing the best in them and aligning them to opportunities that allow them to, change their life. I mean, getting in and breaking into a great company and a great role is literally life changing. It changed my life completely, financially,
mm.
professionally. So, I mean, that's why I love being a recruiter and specifically providing support and resources and insights to help people like me who are looking for a beacon of hope, who might stumble across this podcast and say, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I needed to hear. And it's something just clicks for them. It encourages them to do more and to keep going. And that's what people need, especially in tough job markets.
I love it. Wow. Okay, that's what makes you so unique, right there. Like it's just your passion. I can see through, like just the way you're talking. If you are the right candidate for whatever Alexis is trying to recruit for, she's gonna be
In
she's
your
gonna
corner,
help
I'm
you
your
out.
cheerleader.
She should be a cheerleader. Um, Now I can go so many angles here. What do we talked about a little bit about AI challenges for you? How about I think there's I tell people all the time there's challenges on both sides. There's challenges. There's a higher supply of applications, and on the other side also the candidate. It's a little bit harder for them to differentiate themselves from everybody else. Like any best is
Oh,
if
I've
you can
got
choose
some.
like two or three best tips and strategies for job seekers right now in this world of AI, what would you tell them?
I've got a good one-liner.
Yes.
It is, what you are not doing, someone else is.
Mm,
Think about that.
okay.
What you are not, someone else is going above and beyond, right? That's what's so tough about the job market, is that there is somebody else who is going above and beyond, which in turn makes it more difficult to be a candidate that stands out. You have to
Mm,
do more than just click apply sometimes. And I want to emphasize sometimes, because I have hired so many candidates that have simply applied directly to my role. That's it. They did not
wow.
have to do a cover letter. They did not have to reach out to me. They did not have to go through loops and holes. They simply applied.
Mm,
But with that said, it can be tough if you are a non traditional candidate and you don't have the experience. Why should someone take a chance on you? Right?
mm,
Every step in the application process or trying to be considered for a role, your job as a candidate is to paint vision that you are the candidate for the role. And the only way to do that sometimes is by pushing that door open. So, what does that look like, right? It would look like you apply for the role. Great. Step one, number one, if you don't do anything, it's simply apply. You have to apply for the role first. Um, Second thing is try to build a connection with someone at the company. Ideally, it goes back to the tip that I shared earlier. Try to find the person that is more than likely to be working on that role or within that team. And us recruiters, we try to leave a signal of what we recruit for to give candidates that reach out to us an idea of, oh, would I be reaching out to the right point of contact at this company? So
mhm.
we try to leave evidence on our profiles. So that way it's like a two-way street here. You have a little bit better of
Yeah.
an idea. So if you do want to reach out to a recruiter for a role you applied for, try to find one of us on LinkedIn that's more likely to recruit for that role. Um, and then I think the third thing, and I will tell you, this one's a big one. And I think very little candidates actually do
Ooh,
this. And
listen,
you're
listen
you're
to
gonna
this.
be you're gonna be shocked. You are gonna be shocked. I have probably only had about 5 candidates total send me a voice message on LinkedIn
Are you serious?
when I
Wow.
worked at my agency with Google and hired for Google's sales roles, and also at Gartner too. Probably 5 candidates have ever sent me a voice message, say
Mhm.
introducing themselves, letting me know that they want to be in sales. I
Mm.
mean, it's a sales role,
It's
right?
never
You
goodness
would
sake.
think,
It's trying to sell.
you
Make
would
sure you can
think
sell
that you,
yourself.
boom, boom, boom. And it is so simple. But I will tell you, common sense is not common. And you would think I would have more people sending voicemails or
By now.
even right, right. But I just want to drop that because if I out of my what almost 6 years in recruiting now have only ever received 5 candidates messaging me, sending a voice message on LinkedIn, that's a
Wow.
missed opportunity. So if you want to break into sales and you want to stand out, sending a 30-second voice message really could change everything for
Yeah,
you. I actually probably out of those 5, I recall 2 of those candidates ended up getting an offer. The
that's amazing.
persistency, the drive, it's just from the start. It's
Oh my
just
gosh.
what sales teams look for. You're going to
Yeah.
have to
So,
be
ugh,
prospecting, right? And
tell
finding
people the
business.
time, like send audio, send video, do stop sending text messages. That's amazing. You just
Right.
validated like you show real data right there. Like today, I will give you an example. From some, I started working 7 a.m. It's almost 7 p.m. I probably have sent because I network, I talk to people, I reach out. I maybe 20 messages, written messages, but 6 audios and 3 or 4 videos.
It's
It
key.
has to be a blend, a mix, right? I'm not saying that because I just text only goes so far. Like you have, like you said, you have to differentiate yourself. You have to find a way to stand out, and
Yep.
it's not that hard. push,
Right. It's
push
doing the
play,
simple
record,
things.
right?
Yep. It really is. It's simple and it doesn't have to be, some intricate voice message that you took 2 hours to craft and you're reading off of a script, right? Like just send it. Just
Yeah.
send it. Be yourself. In a world where people rely so much on
Okay.
AI or are trying so hard to be perfect, be yourself, be authentic. But of course, combine that, read the room, be professional, right? It's a job opportunity.
Mhm.
Hiring teams are looking for you to show up as your best self. So make sure you're showing up as your best self, but also being authentic. It's that sweet spot there. So you want to make
Mm,
sure that when you choose to send videos and voice messages to recruiters or hiring teams, that you're conducting yourself in a way that's professional and not too casual or lax.
makes total sense. Wow, that was good. It was amazing. Hopefully, everyone listening to this right now, the statistics is on your way if you go the extra mile here. Um, can't imagine how many messages you get every day, and that definitely
But
stands
not
out.
enough voice messages. I
No,
I can probably name all 5 candidates that have ever sent me a voice message because it's so rare and it just stands out. I just remember them,
yeah,
be
thousands of
memorable.
messages, 5 voice messages, 2 offers.
Yeah.
Wow, amazing. Um, and we're talking about Gartner, we're talking about Google, top organizations, right? People, high qualified people. It doesn't mean that they're not qualified. It's just that you have to stand out, you have to find a way.
Right.
And
I mean, it's
and
really tough for hiring teams because when there are 10 qualified people, how do you pick the one that's qualified? They're all
mm,
qualified. So
mm,
then how do you make decisions when everyone's qualified and everyone can do the job? It really comes down to the little things. And so, for example, candidates that send thank you emails, they follow up, they're persistent, especially in sales. This might not matter for other roles outside of sales. But when we're thinking about sales, treat your interview process like your sales process. How you do one thing is how you do everything. And you are leaving evidence throughout the entire interview process on how you would treat a prospect, on how you
mm,
would treat a sale, on how you would communicate with a client. You are leaving the team evidence. So you want to make sure you are leaving them evidence on how you are the fit for the role, right? So, for example, one of the things I personally did in my Gartner interview is I followed up with every member of the hiring team on things that I felt uncertain about, on things that I felt they might maybe were thinking about, is she the right fit? I followed it up with acknowledging in my email, hey, I noticed,
mm.
XYZ, here's how I'm going to be able to overcome this challenge. Boom. I ease their doubts. So
I
you
love
want
it.
to make sure that you are someone that you know where you have gaps in areas of development, but you address the elephant in the room. Hey, I know this XYZ about my experience might not be a match, but here's why it is, and here's what I'm going to do to overcome the challenge, and here's why I'm a fit for the role. You want to always address the challenges that you think that might foresee in your experience. Another example of this is if you have gaps in your resume and your experience, don't wait for them to ask you about them. Address what have you done to learn during those gaps? Have you, let's say, for example, you have been out of work for 2 years. That is perfectly fine. Why? Because life, we are human, right? So explain what did you learn during those 2 years and why do you want to now get back into the workforce? Address the elephant in the room. Don't allow them to think or give you or have any doubts about your
No,
candidacy.
very very interesting you say that because I'm talking to a potential client, I would say, and just on LinkedIn DMs, and he kept talking about the gap. I was like, you got to get over this gap. It's your
We don't
storytelling.
care about it.
It's your storytelling.
We care
It's
about
how
the
you
way you
present.
tell the story.
Yeah, it's how you present the gap,
Yep.
right? Rename it. Forget about it. Like,
Boom.
yeah, it was a year. So what? You could have done so many things during the entire year.
Was it a gap or was it a year of learning new things?
Oh, there you go. Let's come up with let's gonna come up with a new acronym for gap.
Right. We'll come up with one. But it's so true. It's all about knowing your story, being a good storyteller, leaving evidence. The only person that can do that is you. If you have doubts about your candidacy, the hiring team's going to have doubts about your candidacy. You've got to have confidence and conviction over yourself, your experience, and how you're articulating it.
Yes. 100 times, and that's why this is honestly 50% or 60% what I do as a coach is just help people get to that mentality right there that you just described, right? Because everything else kind of falls into place. Like, but if they're not believing themselves, they're trying to sell a product that they don't believe they're not going to sell, right?
Yeah, no one's
And
going to buy it. They're going to go to the next one.
yes, I love it. Wow, I told you the time was gonna fly here, 30 minutes. And we are getting to a closing. We might have to do a part two. This is amazing. I love it. I love this conversation. Did I forget to ask you any questions? Yeah. Is there anything that is in your head that you'd like to share with the audience? Tech sellers, future tech sellers who are trying to ramp up their career. What's what's the mic drop closing here from Alexis that will resonate to everyone?
Ooh, the mic drop. Ooh, putting pressure on me. I think it just goes back to what I've seen time and time again. What you are not doing, someone else is doing, right? So, like, if we could think about what you can take away from this conversation as a candidate or someone who's looking for their next position, a couple of things to stand out in the job market. If you want to get into sales, leave voice messages. No more typing out messages, long, lengthy messages. We don't have time to just read, 2 paragraphs that you sent over. We really don't. What we will have time for is we're so curious to hear what you said in that voice message. We are absolutely going to listen to that, right? So
Yeah.
being compelling, doing something different. A voice message takes 30 seconds. Um, you can also go to the extent of sending a video of yourself and introducing yourself. I know that takes more effort, but I have had one candidate ever do that, ever send a video.
One.
One. Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Another thing I personally did when I got into Gartner, I actually created a slide deck of myself and my experience, and I sent it out to every hiring team member, and it embodied who I am as a person, why they should want to work with me. I've never had a candidate send me a slide deck of themselves and explaining, like, just a
Whoa.
recap. This is a little side tip. You can use the same slide deck for every company, but change the company name in slide one as the title, right?
Yep.
And change the coloring
Yeah.
to match the company's brand. I mean, it's really, it's, you would think it's so simple, but I mean, it does take effort, right? And I think what sucks is that, in a world where I wish we could just apply for a job and be done with it. Like, having barriers sucks. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But in a tough job market, it is what it is. Like, we can't change that things are tough and that we have to stand out because there's other people doing more than just applying, right? So that's what makes it really tough. But I real quick, I want to just emphasize too, like, I have hired so many candidates that have simply applied to my roles, that have, and to this point, all the candidates I've ever hired, they didn't have to send voice messages or videos or cover letters
Hmm.
or any of that. That's fine. But if you are trying to break into sales, which is what we're really trying to double down on here, if you are breaking into a new industry, you absolutely, more than likely, need to do more than what your competitor is doing, for sure. And those are some things that are going to help you: video, voice message, maybe creating a little slide deck of yourself.
I love
Yeah.
it. Boom. Okay. My clients listen to this. they will know that I teach them all those things that you just said, and I push them to do those things as well. We go above and beyond sometimes. Instead of just a deck, we actually build a whole site with videos. Why me? Why now? And they have to do it, and they have to stand out. They have to be uh, in front of the make an impression. They have to make an impression. I like to call the wow the wow impression, like wow, okay, or be so good that you make the recruiter go to bed and question why they don't hire you.
That's funny.
And
Yeah.
I amazing. I really like this conversation here. Thank you so much for all the things you shared, your experience, being vulnerable and being real. We'll definitely might have to do a part two sometime.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm ready to spill all the beans. I love helping people. I love educating people. I once was, trying to break into corporate myself, no degree, had no handout. I'm the
hmm
highest income earner in my entire family. I came from a background where I had no mentors or support. So I feel like it's my duty to be someone that is that mentor for other people and is that beacon of hope and that resource for people that need someone like me championing for them. So ultimately that's what it's about. So I think what you're doing with your business is admirable, and I think you're helping out so many people looking for that chance to break into a new role for themselves. So it's amazing.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Alexis. Amazing interview. The first one with a recruiter, the best one, and it's gonna be hard to beat this one. But thanks so much for your time. Appreciate it. And then that's it for today, everyone. Thank you for joining today.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Tech Sales Funnels podcast, where we crack the code and uncover the strategies to break into tech sales. If you found value in today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who's ready to hack their way into this exciting career. Remember, hacking into tech sales isn't just a goal, it's a mission. Let's keep hacking, learning, and winning together. Catch you next time.